Put your faith in the light.
Hi guys, welcome to another one of my videos. This is Lightblade. So guys, in this one I wanted to make a guide to how to get into Mythic Plus pushing and group making, mostly for non-meta classes. I wanted to make this since I've seen a lot of people post in the forums complaining that they can't get into groups and that there is a lot of failure in their runs, so I want to help with that. So I've been there guys, I've waited a long time in queue just to play the game. I've failed keys, people in high IO still fail keys, so this problem is pretty common. But in this guide I will give you all my tips and all my advice from years of Mythic Plus playing since Legion, so since Mythic Plus existed, so you can get high IOs and have a fun Mythic Plus experience in pugs. So first of all, let's talk about the different points I'm going to make. So I'll make 3 points, and each point is going to have smaller advices. So let's go with number 1, getting into groups and group making. So for this there's only one mandatory add-on that you need, and it's Radar IO. This is extremely important if you're going to push keys and to get people in your groups. Okay guys, let's get into point number 1. This is getting into groups and group making. This part has a lot of variance since you can get into groups easier if you're a meta class or if you're a tank or a healer, but this guide isn't focused on them. You can still apply it to yourself if you're one of those, but this guide is mostly applied to people that are non-meta, so for you guys out there. Okay, let's get one thing out of the way first. Getting into someone else's group is extremely hard now because I'm not going to sugarcoat it guys, there's about 10 to 20 DPS for every tank there is, so don't take it really personal if you get rejected. There will always be someone with a higher IO score or a higher item level than you. So now what? What can I do if I can't get into groups? Well, that's pretty easy. You make your own group. Making a group is nothing out of this world. It's simple, it's pretty fast to do, and here I'll give you some pointers so you can do it as fast and as easy as possible. So you can play the game and not play queuing simulator. Okay, let's go to point number A, group naming. So group naming, what is this? So that's the name you put whenever you list your group up. I know it may sound dumb, but people psychologically will tend to avoid groups that say things like pumpers only, or only big DPS, or other things like no X realm, for example no Ragnaros realm or no Quel'Thalas realm. So try to avoid putting these things on your name, on your naming of the group, since this gives a passive aggressive tone to them or an immature ring to them. So your name should be as simple as possible. You should put just, for example, if you're looking for people for a 15 key, just put plus 15 in the group title, and you can also put a note that says, for example, note if X covenant, if you're looking for a specific covenant. As your group fills up, you can swap the note to things that are more specific, like for example need a B-Res or need hero lost depending on your faction. Okay, let's go to the next point, point B, cover your bases. This means getting 2 things specifically this expansion, getting a hero class and a B-Res class. These are crucial in making your run go as smooth as possible. In Shadowlands, there is also one more thing that you can watch out for, and this is specific covenants for some dungeons that are almost mandatory in some of them and that aren't that much in others. Here down you can see a graph with all the different covenants for the different dungeons and how rare they are and how necessary they are. So I hope this table helps you guys to find the best combination for the dungeons you are doing. Okay, let's go to the next one, point C. When you make your group, you also have to take a look at yourself and be honest to yourself, what can you bring to the table in terms of damage? Are you a good single target DPS class? Then you should look for AoE classes. And if you're a good AoE class, you should look for single target classes to complement each other. Don't be stacking random meta classes just because you see them in different high streamer profile stuff and all of that. Normally just try to complement yourself, try to be a bit knowledgeable of other classes and what they have to offer. Okay, next point, point D. Make sure you have at least one range class in your group. You don't want to run an all melee comp in most bugs since it's really dangerous in Shadowlands. There's a lot of stuff that ruin melee people's days. So in even some weeks you may only want to run one melee DPS, that means sometimes even just yourself. But it is really important to at least have one of them, since interrupts are a thing and you have to manage, and the interrupt for melee classes is shorter than the interrupt of range classes. Okay, let's go to the next point, point E. When in the group finder, try to do this in terms of what people you're going to get. First of all, look for the highest IO possible. If there's a person with the same IO, like two people with the same IO, get the one that has done the highest key. If neither of those apply, look for someone that has done the key you're asking for one level lower than you or at the same level that you're looking for. For example, if you're looking for people for a 15 plague ball, a person that has done a 14 in time will do the job just fine, or a person that has done a 15 in time will do the job just fine. Okay, let's go to the next point, point F. Be patient. Making a key can take between 5 to 15 minutes. Just don't go overboard with this. Remember that people want to play the game and not just be in the queue. Let's go to the next point, point G. Get all the consumables previous to the key. This means all DPS, cooldown, sharpening stone, oils, flask, potions, all that good stuff, and the most important consumable of all, invisibility potions. There's a lot of dungeons where you will be using these, so always have a stack of 20 ready to go. Always ask the tank if they're going to use invisibility potions previous to the dungeon, since they are in charge of the route. And if you're the tank, always let the group know if you're going to use them on your route. Okay guys, let's go to the next part. Part number 2. So in this part, I'm in a key. Now what? So whenever you are already in a key that you made or that you joined, there's some pointers that you have to follow. Okay, let's go to the point A. Make the atmosphere as positive as you can. Say hi whenever you join a new group, or say hi to people that are joining your group. But just don't overdo this. People don't want to listen to the story of your life. Maybe just how's your day or how's it been is just fine. People just get annoyed if you keep asking stuff. Okay. Oh yeah, you can still ask stuff like for the key things, like technical things for the key, but just don't ask personal things. Okay, let's go to point B. Don't rage type if someone fails a mechanic. This is a sure way of making someone leave a key. So try to point things out while being chill. Something like this, like damn, we got to get the ad first, or let's do mechanic, we got this. Always focus on the group itself, not on one person in a specific. That way people can't like notice that you're singling them out, although you are actually telling them to do mechanics but in a non-direct way, you can say. So always focus on the run, not on the people. Let's go to point C. Do odd jobs. Help fix mistakes as much as possible. Like for example, clicking stuff that needs to be clicked, getting key interrupts, using cooldowns and stuff that might be deadly while people are saving theirs. This can also apply to the prideful affix in this season of Shadowlands, when you have to use cooldowns on the prideful, even though you might miss on some overall damage after the prideful because you're not bursting with that extra damage buff. Also make the most of your dispels if you have them, or your class utility. This is especially important if you have a poison dispel, a disease dispel, or if you have a purge to help remove debuffs from buffs from your enemies or debuffs from your group. Okay, let's go to now the point D. At the end of the run, check for who did the best in terms of damage, tanking, or healing. And if you like them, try to make them do the next key. It never hurts to ask people. Maybe they're looking to just do their 10 runs a week and they are really good players, so you can just hitch a ride with them and get your 10 keys done. Pretty simple to do. Okay guys, let's go to the next part. Okay guys, let's go to the next point. This is the last one of the guide, and It's number 3, don't be discouraged if you fail. Failing a key timer or the group disbanding early is to be expected in pugs, and you know, there's really nothing you can do about it. People sometimes are dicks, or people are just in a hurry. You can't really make them stay if they had enough. The best thing you can do is just brush it off and make a fresh group. Try to not fall into a tilted state. Take a small walk, or a snack, or a glass of water after a failed key to come fresh for the next one. Well guys, that's the end of the guide. I hope this is useful to you, and if you like the content, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Thanks for watching.